Hello YouTubers and various fanbots of the internet. I'm Bored of the 90s, we're playing Depression Quest. We're at a family dinner, it's Christmas time, everybody's happy. Our parents even let us bring our cat. I'm not sure where Alex is, I'm surprised she's not with us, but maybe she's with her family. Maybe there was a scheduling mishap. But everything's going fine, and then... So how are you doing these days? Your mom asks you pointedly. It's such a simple question, and one that you seem to have the answer to had to answer countless times recently. You take a moment to collect your thoughts, then looking up, you take a deep breath. Well, you never really thought of yourself as a fighter, and even to say it now, it sounds hokey, but looking back in the past few months to where you are now, it really does feel like you've endured an immense struggle, and you look at where you are now with a sense of something that isn't quite pride. You still hate your job and find it unpleasant, but you're surprised to find that you're going to work every day is no longer a monumental challenge. You started adopting some clever techniques, like taking short 2-minute breaks every hour to break up the monotony. 2-minute breaks okay, I'm not sure if I read that correctly. And you now view your job as just 8 short hours of your day, a compartmentalization technique Dr. Melville told you about that you've actually found works quite well. You know this job isn't what you wanted to do for the rest of your life, and you started actively looking for other positions, even attending a couple of preliminary interviews. You started making an effort to go out with your friends more. While the social scene still makes you very uncomfortable sometimes, you're more and more able to let yourself just enjoy the company of your friends. In fact, your relationship with many of them have increased over the past little while. I am especially bad at reading right now. Okay. You still definitely have days where you flake out or don't feel up to hanging out, but for the most part your friends are understanding and appreciate your communication. By far the biggest change you've noticed in your life has been in your relationship with Alex. You were terrified of talking to her about everything at first, but looking back you feel like it's only strengthened your relationship. She was always supportive of you emotionally, but lately the two of you have been even more in sync, and it's really starting to feel like you're building a life together. It even seems like the two of you have been making more concerted effort to sync up your schedules and have been spending more and more of your downtime with each other. Pretty soon you think moving in together may be a very real possibility. Dr. Melville has commented on how well you seem to be doing, and you can't help but agree. With all that seems to have improved recently, it's sometimes difficult for you to think about the fact that you still have bad days, sometimes even really bad days. They serve as a stark reminder of the fact that you will be something you likely have to deal with for the rest of your life. Depression is a battle, and though you're certainly ahead in the fight, you know the battle isn't ever going to be over. Sometimes even Alex can tell when things are going rough, despite your best efforts to the contrary. While you know that your depression can't ever be cured, you have a very strong support network in your friends and even Malcolm, and armed with the newfound confidence in your friends and family, you accept that though the road may be rocky, it is at very least not solitary. You meet your mom's gaze from across the table and muster up a smile. "I'm good, Mom," you tell her. She says nothing, but you can feel her smile from across the room. Epilogue. We really want to thank you for taking the time to play Depression Quest. We realize it may not be the most enjoyable game you've ever played, or even the easiest, and we sincerely appreciate your involvement. Like Depression itself, Depression Quest does not have an end, really. There is no neat resolution to depression, and it was important to us that Depression Quest's own resolution reflect that. Instead of a tidy ending, we want to provide a series of outlooks to take moving forward. After all, that's all we can really do with depression, just keep moving forward. And at the end of the day, it's our outlook and support from people just like you that makes all the difference in this world. Thanks again. So, yeah, what they said, so this is like credits, and you for being willing to play games that are not meant to be something other than simply fun. But yeah, it's true, depression isn't something that you're just cured of. Like, a lot of people think, oh, you're depressed, well, just be happy. You can't just be happy. Like, they did a pretty good job of explaining it. There's always, like, this nagging feeling, like, the lack of motivation, and then you beat up yourself for not feeling motivated, and, you beat up yourself a lot. but you just kind of have to figure out different ways to deal with that. Yeah. And like I said, I went through like a really low point, and I started seeing a therapist, and the therapist didn't help, and I think the fact that the therapist didn't help was what made me realize that I was going to have to find a way to deal with this pretty much on my own. But that's not how it works for everybody. There are some people who do need therapists, and I'm sure there are many therapists that are better than the one I had. So yeah, it's just, you gotta find some way to keep yourself up and moving and doing things. And yeah, you're gonna have days where you just, like, getting out of bed feels like lifting 4 anvils off of your body. But, I mean, you just, I don't know, you gotta keep going on. And that's pretty much it. And I mean, there's tons of support networks. People can be a support network. I mean, like, friends and relatives in your life. Like they showed here, there's, like, you know, online friends. There's entire forums set up. And of course, if you're feeling any sort of suicidal thoughts or feelings or anything like that, definitely call a suicide prevention line, because nobody should ever kill themselves. There's always got to be some way to make your life better, and there's always some way to overcome any obstacles that are in front of you, and there's tons of different outlets on ways to do that. But definitely find help, because the worst thing you can do is just, like, the worst choices in this game, the worst thing you can do is just sit in your bed all the time and stew over these terrible thoughts and feelings that you're going through. So yeah, this got a little serious. It wasn't as fun as some of the other games, I suppose. But it had a really good point, and that's kind of what mattered to me. So yeah, this was Depression Quest, excuse me, and I am Bard of the 90s, and I will see you in the next game. Bye bye!